was like one of those.
Yeah, we back. CTB, Chin Tucked Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay. Say what up to him, man.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
Most definitely. While you sit back tuning in, get ready for this Chin Chat we about to hit y'all guys with. We got a couple good topics on today's show, man. The first topic of today's show, we want to talk about the rumor, man. It's another fight on the rumor mill. It's a fight that we've been kind of asking for the last, I'd say, at least a year. In the ring with Canelo Alvarez, who was calling for him to fight another Mexican-American superstar, and David Benavidez, man. So the rumor is now that fight is set up for possibly, what was the date? Was it July?
September.
So they saying the rumor is they might be hot fighting in September. First, someone that I know, do you think that fight is possible? First off,
I believe so. I think this is not just smoke. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like Caleb Plant has already got the huge fight with Canelo. So I think now he's willing to fight, the Charlos and the David Benavidez and so forth. And for David Benavidez, like you said, we always talk about in boxing is the common opponent. And I feel like him fighting Caleb Plant, and if he can look better against Caleb Plant or look as good as Canelo did, I think the whispers that we hear now about them two fighting will get louder. I think people will put more pressure on Canelo to make that fight with David Benavidez. So I think it's a smart move for both of them. I think it's a good move for Caleb Plant to put him back in the running as one of the best 168 pounders. But I also think it's a great move for David Benavidez because it'll put more pressure on Canelo and even on Charlo to make that fight with him.
It's just a rumor, but I'm gonna tell you why I think this rumor is hot right now. As we all know, PBC, they recently just lost on the Canelo bid. They were trying to put up fights for Canelo. It was a 2-fight deal with Charlo and then David Benavidez. They offered a shitload of money for those 2 fights. Canelo turned it down and chose the zone route, which we kind of don't really like because it has Triple G on that card. So we're like, why Triple G getting the 3rd fight? But that's another video. I think the reason why this fight is happening is because of that. Because they lost out on the Canelo sweepstakes. I think Canelo went to them and said that none of these guys have a big enough buzz. Me and Triple G is guaranteed gold. But if I try to fight Jermell Charlo, or if I try to fight David Benavidez, he's gonna have to sell the fight himself. I feel that was probably one of the reasons why I think Canelo would have turned it down. So I think this fight is more than a rumor. I think it's damn near necessary, in my opinion. Jermell Charlo has to get in there and fight somebody. Andrade had to come in and get his name out there and had to fight somebody. So all 4 of these guys, they're going to have to wind up fighting each other so the PBC can actually bring Canelo over back to them. I think that is the reason why they really lost out on the Canelo sweepstakes when it comes to them picking. Stylistically, how do you think they match up in this fight, man?
I think it's an interesting fight because to me, David Benavidez, even though I think his defense is underrated, but I still think he get hit too much. I think he's too offensive, and sometimes in being so offensive, he's willing to take a shot or two to get his shots off. He likes war. He likes confrontation. He likes to slug it out. That's what he like to do. He did the same thing with Andre Durrell, and to me, that fight was a competitive fight until he had to cut and they had to stop the fight. But I think Caleb Plant is levels above Durrell. So if he gave him trouble, I think Plant can give him the same trouble. The thing is, can Plant withstand the pressure of David Benavidez for 12 rounds? So it's 2 different styles. We know that Caleb Plant is going to box, be slick, try to win on points. But we know David Benavidez is going to start off slow and come on the second half of that fight and test Plant stamina hard and see can he hold him off. So it's a class of 2 different type of styles, which makes a great fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. That Canelo fight, man, it showed what Plant had. He was, in my opinion, he was winning most of that early rounds. And then Canelo started walking him down, that body shots, you can kind of see him taking effect. And then once Canelo started landing that hook, and once he found that home for that hook, we all knew it was a matter of time. We actually called that fight right. We actually called Canelo by late stoppage on that fight, if I remember correctly. I think David Benavidez had the same opportunity. He's a lot bigger than Canelo. But I will say this, he doesn't have the punch variety of a Canelo, nor that he has the head movement of a Canelo. Like you said, he already get hit a lot. He's slow-footed. So is Canelo, but Canelo has a fast upper body. He moves his body real quick in and out, and he knows how to gauge range really, really well for a shorter fighter. David Benavidez is not really that great in those avenues, and he's slow-footed. So Killer Plant will be on that bicycle. He will most definitely try to stick his jab and move, and he will most definitely, I feel, win the early rounds. So like you said, David Benavidez is a slow starter. So I do see him causing that type of issue. Like you said, though, he's got to avoid it for 12 rounds, man, and avoid that pressure. Because while I might not take one punch, I do give Killer Plant the benefit. I do give him a good chin. People say his chin's not that great. People don't know how many shots he actually would take it from Canelo. He got beat up a little bit in that fight, and withstood as long as he could. So I do think he can take the punishment, but I don't see him taking it for 12 rounds, which I don't think he would have to, because like I said, Killer Plant, not Killer Plant, but David Benavidez really doesn't have the punch variety in my opinion.